What up, Vish? What up, Mosfab? How we doing, chat? On that wick just stopped you out. Oh, the little volatility. Good FSC. How you doing? I had a good day and good night. I mean, we got the rally we wanted. We saw a bit of a pullback into that 700s, but we wanted 750s, and we got it. I caught a decent chunk of that, mainly because I was holding a position throughout the overnight. So basically, I just got to my computer and was filled out on it. And then I took some option trades today. What's the broad target after a long... That's a broad target after a long time. What do you mean, Bish? What up, Lambo? What up, Mad Breezy? Chat, by the way, I am in this trade. That's why I tried to start as soon as I could, because I was already in it. I jumped in 5 minutes before. I'm looking for just under today's highs. I think there's a chance we get momentum throughout, like today, the overnight, into tomorrow for another uptrending day. I truly do. What up, Snowman? Mitch Futures, Ireland. You've been scalping for a few weeks for that smaller target, right? Yeah, Vish, I have been. But I'm building conviction in the market overall, right? We're getting some momentum. The reason I've been more so scalping on this time frame, what I would consider scalps like smaller potential trades, is just because we haven't been getting momentum, right? I'm going to adapt to trade what we are currently getting. I do think there's potential we get a push higher. If this candle ends up just being an aggressive failure, we may be stuck again. But this is the one stab I'm willing to take if we do get a broader trend. What up, Mabel? Matt, where'd you get in at? I'm going to assume it's on NQ, and you probably got in either in that earlier consolidation or right near the open. And then QS killed in 3 minis based off the 2 minute. Hell yeah. If you caught a 3 mini move, you are sitting pretty. I'm going to let this one work. And then if I get stopped, we'll just look for more potential setups. Crazy moving on the 1 hour opening. Yeah. We're getting some decent momentum. I mean, we're getting the buying pressure that we kind of saw yesterday. NQ actually opened in the exact same area as yesterday, which is interesting. How do you trade futures? You just open up a futures broker. If you trade individual shares of stocks, it's very similar, but with a slight leveraged aspect to it. All you do is you either buy or you sell the index or whatever futures name you're trading. You buy and sell it. You make a certain amount of dollars per point, depending on the name. Matt, 3 minis, 50 points is phenomenal. Can't complain about that whatsoever. NQ's getting a lot of volatility here. I like this a lot more before the big little pushback lower. There is a chance we go down and retest the open on ES. If NQ gets down there, it's a pretty aggressive reversal. So that might change the thesis for me a little bit. What do you recommend for first future I should trade? Snowman, if you're going to get into futures, I would just stick with ES until you get used to it. Mabel, Jake messes up a lot of people's names. It just is what it is. I mess up a lot of them too. I feel like you have a pretty easy name. What do you? Yeah, for first future, I would just look towards ES. Depending on your risk parameters, try the micro first, right? If you're not trying to risk multiple hundreds of dollars on a trade, try just doing a micro, which is going to be MES. That current contract is MESU6. Futures contracts roll over every quarter. But that's all stuff you can easily find. What does Mitch's positioning say for the overnight? I'll see if he posted it. He did not post it. So I couldn't tell you. View stats. There we go. Then we'll pull up the chart. Vish, it's a big if, right? Do I think this can hit? Yeah, it definitely can hit. For me, it's just more so based off of current structure. Like if we actually look at what the indices are doing at the moment, one of the reasons I really like this is if we get this push at all over 45s, we have a 4-hour buy setup happening after this aggressive sell-off. Everything kind of we wanted to play out yesterday played out perfectly. It just happened more so right before New York with the data, where we ended up getting that broader rally up into 50. Front ran 70 a little bit, got a couple points shy of it. Couldn't get all the way up there. But the more I look at a lot of things broader market, I'm not opposed to trying to play out for a continued rally either today or possibly tomorrow. Like I genuinely think it's a possibility. Especially with the daily fail to go lower. The dailies did pull back a little bit. But if we trigger the 4-hour on 40 or at 45, this is all I'm looking for. We break the 4-hour at 45. If we get above that, where would I kind of look for? The prior daily high. Give me front running 65s, and then we can watch it off of that, see if we get continuation or not. But that's the risk that I'm willing to put on for now, at least for this trade. This is technically the largest point risk that I've had in probably 2 weeks, because I'm actually looking for a larger target. But I think 22 points is possible. There's a chance it doesn't hit, but we'll see. Lambo, it is insanely valuable. Yeah, Vish, I'm just taking the stab that this could be the session where we actually get momentum, right? We're already in a larger range than we've been in the past 2.5 weeks. We've already broken 15 points-ish, 14 points off the open. If we get above that, we should continue, in theory. What up, Mora? I mean, Vish, you can definitely hit an Asia session. It's just, is it going to hit an early Asia session? I would love a just overnight rally to get a gap higher. It's what I really wanted last night. We kind of technically got a gap higher. My overnight position worked, but then we pulled back and we just stayed stagnant. But I think it's set up really well for the 4-hour. Is it Kieran? If so, agreed. Yeah, I lean towards the upside more than anything. If we see the downside, I'll eat a stop, is what it is. But right now, my risk is definitely towards the upside, and that's the way I think the market can continue. I just wanted to hit before I go to sleep, i.e. in the next 4 hours at least. Well, Vish, what's going to determine that is Asia. If Asia does get momentum, then yes. So how is Asia Open going to react is likely going to play a huge factor in this session. But I mean, just across the board, I like the names. I'm probably going to give it like 2 minutes, then I'm going to dive into the higher time frame charts. Did you trade New York? I didn't trade futures for New York. I caught the long throughout the overnight on some accounts. Got out around 40 and 50 on those. I had a small long position overnight that did well, and then I longed Amazon. And I posted it in the Discord. We longed Amazon, I think, down here somewhere. And then got out for like 100-ish. I think just shy of 100, but it hit just over. I'm probably going to regret closing those. Is what it is. Because I do think Amazon has potential up towards 270s. If it goes to 280s, I'll be bummed. But if it only goes to 270s, okay. Let's bring in AXP. I'm sure it'll show up at some point. The one thing we are watching, though, is on the indices, we do have RTY and YM lagging a little bit structurally, right? And I'll start doing the analysis overall right now. NQ has broken the lower end of the range. It's currently now fighting the higher end, but the 4-hour close does look really good. The hourlies look phenomenal. It wouldn't shock me if we consolidated a little bit into Asia. I'm willing to hold this trade through that either way. But I like these setups. We have possible 4-hour higher lows on every single chart. As long as we can hold some structure, I like the long back to the upside. I do. If we end up spiking above like ES and NQ did and we get some big failure to go higher, might get a little more bearish and I'll be stopped, obviously. But this is kind of the conviction that I'm looking at across the 4-hour time frames that really has me interested in just giving a broader target. Not guaranteed to hit, right? There's a chance, but we'll see. Overall, indices tried to hold a little bit. Daily's still more neutral-ish, but I would just at least like to see us get up towards yesterday's highs. So looking at ES, after yesterday's session, we talked about the failure to go lower playing out. That played out. Our main targets were 50 and 70. We were able to get up into 50 with the pre-market data. We came just shy of 70. 70 can still be a bigger target. With where we're sitting, I'm going to target just under today's highs. So if we do get a rally, I'd be looking for that. Then adjust off of those highs, see if we can get some other type of entry maybe in the later evening, and then look for that continuation if this chart does play out to the upside. Obviously, I talked about the 4-hour. Don't really need to talk about that a whole lot. We're fighting these areas we talked about yesterday, right? We have a bit of resistance here around 30s, bit of resistance here around 50s. This is exactly why we targeted these areas. We're currently still fighting those. If we do get above those, we have room towards 70. Could even see possibility all the way back up towards like 80 and 90. I'm keeping the targets a little more reserved than I could. Instead of being like super horny bull, just being a little more reserved with it, but still looking for a larger potential move. I like the hourly a lot. What's going to happen is I really don't care how this candle closes that we're currently in, unless it closes down at like 36, 35. Then I'm not a big fan. If it closes more of a neutral candle, we can look for that potential 3-bar play back to the upside, as long as we hold this candle's lows after the close as we go into Asia. So this trade's not guaranteed yet. I'm in it. I'm break even on it. I'll see if it gets continuation or not. If it does, cool. If not, worth a stab. But on the 15 for me, it's just going to be continuously looking to hold this like 37s, which is partly why I took this 15-minute trigger off of last week's lows. Gave us the entry here, which is exactly where I got in. Was willing to take that for potential continuation. Got a little bit, so far stagnant. So as long as we hold 38s, I like this chart. If we do end up losing 33s, this chart could get a little bearish. Downside target. I mean, if we end up getting bearish, I'd be looking 715, 700s. So downside momentum, if you are leaning more bearish, I like 715s as a broader target. And then today's lows down around 700. We'll see how that plays out because there's always that possibility. NQ is a little stronger at the moment on this current time frame. Structurally, not insane. As you look at the 4-hour, you can see it's obviously a little bit weaker than ES, which is why I'm more so focused on ES today. Intra-session, though, it is stronger thus far. Very strong hourly close, very strong 4-hour. NQ just needs to hold that 29,600. If it continues holding 29,600, this chart looks fine. I don't care if it pulls back into it, holds it. As long as it holds this general area, I do like the upside. For me, 750 is basically going to be my NQ target. It's where we were looking at yesterday as well with this little pivot here. So if we can get back up into 750s, cool. If we break 750s, that's when I think we can get that momentum to really play out. So just focusing heavily on 600 and then 750 for that. If we get back below 600, similar to yesterday, right? That was our big resistance we were fighting yesterday. If we end up getting back below it, we have the open and last week's lows, kind of last line supports. Below that, we'll likely head down to the New York lows, down around that 400 to 375-ish area. So we'll see what we end up doing here. Might be a slow first hour, but hopefully as we get closer to Asia, momentum picks back up a little bit. How important is adjusting your risk based on conviction? For example, ABC or D trade, I think sizing everything the same has been what holds me back. Jacob, I don't size everything the same. I don't. You guys have seen me trade funded accounts where I'm risking $600 on a trade. You guys have seen me trade evals where I risk 200. Just based off of the conviction and based off of what the chart's willing to give me is what I'm willing to risk. In theory, I could put this stop at like 37, but I want to give it room. I think the stop could easily be tighter. Just in case, obviously, as we get closer to like the Asia Open as well, I want to give it that room if we're still near it. But I have more conviction today, so I'm willing to look for a larger target with this stop. It's just, you have to remember, if you have low conviction, why would you put the exact same amount of risk on a trade as you do when you have super high conviction? I do this a lot with options. If I absolutely love a setup, I have no problem going heavy size, risking even like $1,000 on a stop. But if I'm just like, all right, this is going to be a high risk, high potential reward, I'm going to lower that down to maybe like $300-400 of risk. So it's very important, at least for me, to not use the exact same sizing on every single trade. But that's also because I have different types of setups and different criteria of my risk and what I'm willing to put on it. Yeah, Rab, that's just the way I do it. Because if I have a higher probability, then I want to be able to potentially make more on that trade. Right? If I look at a chart and it's you need to be in this in case this move does happen, I'm willing to put risk on. I thought about doing 2 minis on this trade, but I looked at it, I'm like, I really don't want to risk $800. So I'm only doing one right now, which I'm okay with. I do have this on 2 accounts though. It is on another account, so I'll be transparent about that. I just want some movement to get out of this chop we have been in so much of. You and me both, brother. You and me both. You guys have been living in the chop with me on every single stream. We're trying to get out of it. What up, Ali? Yeah, Rob, if we go back down to yesterday's lows, I would anticipate those to break for sure. What up, Rav? What up, Chevy? Yeah, Kieran, I definitely think the market can make a larger move, but I'm not like blinded by that. Because there's a chance if we do end up breaking last week's lows again, this can easily start to get bearish pressure again. You traded mRNA today? No, brother. I did not. If anyone swung mRNA overnight, congrats. If you swung longs, you can retire. I looked at one options contract. It was like the 70 calls. When I see big moves like that, I'll go on Robinhood and look at the options chain just to see the percentage they moved. mRNA, 70 calls overnight, moved 92,000%. For instance, if you put $1,000 in that position, you made $920,000 off of 1,000. That is fucking crazy. I've been sizing my C trades the same as A plus, hard to determine in the moment, but something I need to work on. Yeah, Jacob, in some people, it's fine to do that, right? If you have a higher win rate, that's fine. For me, my win rate, I would say, is on like the lower end per se, because it's usually around like 50 to 60. And if I size every single trade the exact same, I don't love that. But I also have no problem being a little more aggressive if I'm up like a decent amount on the week or on the month or something like that. What up, BL? What's your target on ES? 63.75. You have any levels for gold? Let's look over gold. Gold did wonders. Damn. Anyone catch gold today? That chart absolutely ripped. For gold, I have to go here though. Actually, no, I didn't chart anything on gold that high. Hang on. Let's look. So for me on gold, I have this 45.75. No, 45.67 just below us from this prior consolidation. You have a little bit of resistance right around 85s, which we're currently fighting. But above that, I have room to 620s. All I'm doing to find these is just looking at this prior consolidation on the 4-hour and just marking out these pivots. That's all I really focus on for broader targets. So like above 620s, you're gonna be looking towards 675s. I just go to 4-hour ranges, look for the broader pivots and mark those out and then use those as targets. Same thing for this big support that we've been watching at 520s that we finally broke over. So to the upside, 620 and then like 675s. If we end up getting back below 45, basically 45.67, we could easily push back down towards like 520s. I don't have lower time frame levels on something like gold. I just use the 4-hour for my broader pivots. But gold does have a beautiful daily chart. Really strong. Wouldn't shock me if we got a bit of consolidation after that, but the weekly looks good. If this weekly wants to get a continuation, the daily easily could push up into like 680, 690s. We'll see what the market wants to do. Looks like we're pulling back a little bit. 15, little bit of a failure there. We'll see how the hourly closes. There's a chance we do pull back, retest the open. Rav, the screen should be clear unless the internet's buffering a little bit, which will just make it blurry for a second. Check your settings to make sure you're in 1080p. But the stop I have at 734. Target I have at 763.75. What did I miss? Not much, Zay. I went over the market a little bit. We're buffering. We shouldn't be buffering. I don't see anything that says we're buffering. Yeah, Rav, you always have to make sure you put because YouTube does an auto thing. And it's based off your internet as well. Yeah, usually I know when I'm buffering because I can see the stream to my left. So I know when we're about to go through hell. Yeah, always make sure you have it in 1080p. It should be cleaner. Because this stream should always be for all of us in 1080p. It could be that, Alejandro, or YouTube messes up sometimes, which will make it buffer. Or it could just be internet on your end. Why long here? I took the long as we held on the 15 off last week's lows, triggered on the 15, up into and above the 42 area. Just multi-time frame analysis, right? Looking at the 15 to trigger, which it ended up doing, which then in turn broke above the prior 4-hour high, so I was looking for that bigger continuation. If it ends up failing, I'll eat a stop, but I'm still staying in this for the aspect of if it's going to get that bigger push. Today, I do have a bigger target. We technically have been in a range for 2.5 weeks now. We'll see if today's the day we actually trend a little. NQ's already moving a lot, which is nice. So we'll see if that continues. Coin is moving. Zay, I saw that. Zay, I looked at coin calls today near the open because I was looking between Amazon and coin when I took my trade. When coin was down here at 150, weekly 160s were like $3 or $3.50. Now, obviously, in hindsight, looks great. But when I have 2 days to expiration and contracts that are $6 out of the money on a $160 name or $3, I said, hell no. I am not doing that. Do you know how to salsa dance? No, I don't. Rev, I've talked about that on stream. Got a W on gold? Hell yeah. I've talked about that exact thing on stream. It's part of their policy with hedging. You can't be long one. You can't be long a mini and short micros with it. And I get it. But I wish there was a way that the model could look at how you're trading it. Because right now, while I'm in one mini, I can trim this mini by selling micros against it if I truly wanted to trim. I just can't because prop firms don't allow that. Rev, it is stupid for people that want to utilize it that way. But at the same time, people will hedge their own positions in the past with minis and micros. So that's why they had to do that. It makes sense why they do it. Lucid's fine with it. You can sell micros against your minis on Lucid. Interesting. I think Tradeify also has a policy about trading minis and micros at the same time. When you're live, you can't hedge, so they're following the real rules. Well, Rob, if you are on a like self-funded live account, you can hedge like that. Yeah, futures. That's why I'm curious because I feel like it's still hedging. As long as it's in the same account. Interesting. I'm not going to try it, but I'll take your word on it. Just trade micros at that point. Jake, a lot of times it can be also people do that for contract fees. Because you're paying 10 times the amount if you trade 10 micros versus one mini. Or there's times where I'll take a mini and all of a sudden I want to trim that position instead of holding full, and then you can sell the micros against it. It's just ways to be able to trim if you get in a predicament where you want to take some risk off. But I get what you mean. I mean, you guys will see me trade 10, 15 micros. Hope you're having a green day, just catching up. Appreciate you, Lauren. We'll see. Right now, I'm technically down $37. Is it, Rob? Because I've done that before on my self-funded. And I know larger traders that talk about that all the time. Interesting. I'd probably have to look at the fine print on what they consider hedging there. I mean, technically it is hedging, but it's a way of trimming in a sense. I'm doing good. Naturally, how you doing? Zay, I saw Hims was ripping. 13%. Yeah, Zay. I mean, if you caught that move today, hell yeah. But 13% were not even back at the prior daily highs. I was about to say, holy shit, this name's going parabolic. It's not. It's still in the range. I don't understand what's so wrong with hedging. Lauren, what people used to do on prop firms, because you used to be able to do this, even on like Apex or Tradeify, they would max allocate their accounts. They would send half of them short, half of them long, and then guarantee payouts that way. So they were trying to game the system of the firms. All the prop firms caught on, so they all put in rules against hedging. But on a self-funded account, there's nothing wrong with hedging. There's other ways you can do it. Like if you find negatively correlating assets, you can trade those against each other without a problem. I'm pretty sure you can also long ES and short NQ. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Wondering Wealth, I thought I answered that. Usually I'm in anywhere between 1 mini, 10 micros to 2 minis, 20 micros. All depends on my risk. Can we hedge with a buddy? I'm not answering that. I'm not going to put myself on the chopping block there. I'm not answering that one. Agreed, Rav, you can. But also, if it's with a prop firm, you just have to abide by their rules. You do. We all sign up for them. You have to abide by what they say if you want to trade with them. So let's see. On the poll today, 64% are bullish. Only 14% bearish. That's not good. With our current stats chat, that is not a good poll. Then we got 21% range. Yeah, Rav, of course you can do it in a personal account. You're telling me I got to reverse my long BL? I think we all might have to. That poll, I'm going to be honest, has not hit. Technically, the last one last night did hit. Because I did one, what do we think we do the rest of in the New York Open? And it was long, and the longs technically worked out into 750. So you guys got one. I'll give it to you. Yeah, but Rob, you should be able to buy ES and sell MES against it. Like I said, don't quote me on this because I haven't studied the rules on that for the CBOE. But you should be able to, because technically those are not two different assets, but they're two different contracts against each other. What up, Abdu? But I also feel like half the chat in this conversation is referring to prop firms. The other half is referring to live self-funded accounts. And those are just two different topics. But chat, how'd you guys do today? What'd you guys trade? We had a lot of really nice moving names today. Number one on the board was a name that I have not traded in years. With fucking Moderna. You know what's crazy? If you look at this chart, the last time I traded Moderna, it was at the exact same price we're at now, because that's where these levels are from. That's the last time I touched it, was 2022. And we just moved up 176%. And we're now there. The funniest thing that I saw as well, because I was looking at the options chain. The highest contract you were allowed to trade was the 120s. At least on Robinhood. There was no contract above 120s that you could even touch. So if you wanted to trade, you had to buy something that was already $40 in the money and pay like $6,000 per contract. Which prop firm do you like the most? Lately, it's been Lucid. Lucid and Tradeify are the main two I use. I actually took ES win today, 1 loss, 1 win to make up the loss and something. Hell yeah. No, Rob, no. I'm not, that doesn't, to me, that doesn't make sense to sell an ES against an ES. No, I'm talking about hedging with minis against, or micros against your minis. Yeah, so we're on the same page. And $600 to pass my first eval. Hell yeah, Ben. Ben, number one thing I will say, this is the time when a lot of people get greedy. Best piece of advice I could probably give here is just continue to trade how you trade. Don't over focus on the exact P&L dollar amount of 600. If it gets there, awesome. If not, let it take a few days. Don't rush it. Because into those last like 1-2 trading days of evals when a lot of people blow up. That as well as the first 2 days of being funded. Because they hyper focus on just the broader target. Think of me blow it, blew an eval $50 away. Naturally, I had one eval. I want to say it was like a month and a half ago. I didn't blow it, luckily. But I think I was $25 away. And I just lost like 4 trades in a row. I think I did a little trade to make like $25 to risk 100, and I was like, shit, that didn't hit. Because whenever I get that close, I always skew the R to R just for the probability. And then I took another one. It was like make 150 to risk 150 or 200. Lost that. Next thing you know, I was like 700 away from passing. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Those little trades burn you so bad. They do. It just burns you so bad because your trade technically hit. You should be passed. But most of the time for me, it's slippage. Where the contract, like let's say right here passes this account. It doesn't, but let's just say it does. It gets up there, hits this, and then pulls back immediately a little bit and then fills you like right here. Because most of the time, lately I've been using hard trim orders. Like right now I have one set. But in the past, I would just set my daily lockout to a certain number. And it would get to that number, go to close the contracts, and then slip a little bit lower. And I'd be like $5, $10, $25 away. I did already. I was 400, then it became 15 again, and now I'm back again. Benjamin, so you've already been there. Yeah, brother, you know to take it slow at that point. What up, Houseplant? How you doing? Mabel, it's always just people getting greedy. It is. That's why most people fail in trading. Because you can't accept the risk. You get greedy. You try to chase targets. That's why a lot of accounts get blown up. Houseplant, is that a ticker or an abbreviation? I'm just not going to read that comment to give you the light of day. I'm just not going to read it. You have a 300K eval? What in the fuck? My man's balling on a budget here. What prop firm is at 300? I don't trade accounts anywhere near that size, so I have no clue. I know most have like 150s. Good to see you too, brother. YLOS. Is that a prop firm? Or is that an abbreviation? Yeah, legit. Interesting. I've never heard of them. Is it like an actual futures prop firm or is it Forex? Started being happy with being a small win. Love that, Mabel. That's when you know you're doing well. When you can actually walk away with, even if it's $50 on the day. That's when you know mentally you're like, all right, I'm good. How you really know you're dialed is if you can walk away with only a $50 loss. I've seen a few people mention that name before, but I've never even looked at that firm. I don't even know what their website looks like. Yeah, brother, I won't use a firm that doesn't have like a main broker that I use. A lot of the other streamers on Project 365 use 10-4. I won't, just because it doesn't have Tradeovate or TradeC. If they eventually do onboard like Tradara, like Jake's talked about, I may be interested in that firm now. I may try it. Just because I also want to try that broker because we helped work on the beta. Chad, I'm curious. This is going to be a random question. Where do you guys think either ES or NQ head into the end of the week? Like, what are your guys' broader targets? Because I know some people probably want decently lower. Some people want decently higher. Some may want us to close right where we are. So, like, what is your guys' broader targets for the next 2 trading days? If you already have them. There's probably not a lot of people that are playing that far. Daily gap. Moise, I need a little more with that. Which daily gap? Are you talking down here? Are you talking a 250 point sell-off on ES? The one we created just now. See, this is why we don't focus on daily gaps. Because we'd be targeting right here. So your target into the end of the week, where you want us to close, is right here at 7:30. You want 10 points? What up, SO? $650 ES. Okay, Rob's a little bearish. Nothing wrong with that. 778 for naturally. Or 77.80. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Yeah, Moise, end of the week. I'm looking for broader targets, a little deeper conversations. 864 on NQ. Where are we at right now? Okay. 864. I actually like that a lot. Because you may have a different reason for this, but you're basically targeting this prior daily pivot here. I don't hate a rally up into that whatsoever. I like that push a lot if we do. All-time highs on ES. Lasagna, there's only one reason why I don't want to target all-time high this week. Because if I'm looking at this chart, it's essentially, do I expect it to fully reverse this and close up here? Not necessarily. What I'd be looking for and what I'm leaning towards, obviously I talked a little more bullish earlier, is getting even up towards like 780s, 800s. Give us a strong weekly close. If we do that, I'm going in the next week decently bullish. If we can close above like 770s on the week, this chart has a really big lower wick, smaller body, just below all-time highs. Either next week or the week after, I would be looking for the pop off the top in the new all-time highs. But I like where your head's at. I do. All right, and then I look at BL trades, and he wants all-time highs on NQ. All right. I mean, it's not out of the question, but it's fucking crazy. You want 950s. You want 1,300 points on the NQ from where we're at. It's possible. I will say, because I do have an options trade that is fairly aggressive. And I haven't posted anywhere because it is degenerate. It's borderline degenerate. But if NQ makes that move, and the name I'm in makes the move it should based off of that, I wouldn't need to trade for a week. Well, probably a month. But I have low hope it gets that far. I can still risk off on tech and another never-ending war. Fed minutes sounded hawkish today. Yeah. I don't disagree with it, Rob, for sure. It's still risk off on tech, but a lot of tech is getting some strength back up from the lows of when it sold off. If ES sells 250 points, we're going to have some real problems worldwide. Gamma, I agree. If we get straight flash crash back below 700s, which if we lose 700s on ES, I think shit gets very, very ugly. Is it 700s? Hang on, let me double check before I full quote that. Yeah. Yeah, if we lose 700s ES, NQ goes back below 400s, this chart gets pretty damn ugly, especially on the weekly, because the weekly be closing back below here. That's not going to be a good look. NQ would be back down here, weekly lower high. At that point, I would lean pretty damn bearish in the next week. I'm not that bullish. BL, you can't say that after you said you want 30,950 in 2 days. You can't just pop back in and be like, yeah, I'm not that bullish. That is damn near 4%. That is actually over 4% on the NQ. What up, AXP? AXP, that's the man we need to know. Where do you think we close, or where do you think we head towards the end of the week? I was just asking chat, seeing what they're saying. I think we head down towards 650 by end of Friday, but only if we get a close below 700. Agreed. Yeah, if we lose 700, that's a valid target. I mean, in theory, if you think about the broader aspect we talked about yesterday too, if we wanted to be bearish, what did we want? We wanted this daily rally to go up, hit a big resistance, and get an aggressive rejection off of it that ends up selling off. I would have wanted to see this session immediately start selling towards today's lows if we were going to get that. But if we do end up spending like today and Thursday, in more of an inside bar aspect, that does build momentum for possible lower on Friday. It does. That's why I would need more of a continuation throughout the overnight for that strength to actually play out. Yeah, Rob, we're not out of the woodwork yet. We can see either direction. I mean, NQ 40,000 by the end of the week, dog. All right, Daniel. Yeah, and I'm going to need $1 billion in my bank account tomorrow. Those have the exact same probability. I'm not looking at an SG, but if there's one, just adds confluence. I don't trade that. Oh, you're talking to someone else. Three-bar reversal on the weekly. Yeah, Rob. If we do get lower, like if we get back down towards 700 throughout later in the overnight or tomorrow, this chart gets very, very ugly. AXP is looking for 7,600 by next week. AXP, you want us to go down 150 points in 2 days? You son of a bitch. You absolute son of a bitch. That's not good. Yeah, we can't have the insider wanting the market to crash. Cole, if you look back a week, I was bearish as well. Maybe a little over a week. I was getting more bearish. But this is why we always just trade what the market gives us. Do you have any videos on your chart setting colors? Well, here. This will be a video that is always on YouTube. I don't have one like overly in depth on the colors. All I do, make the candles the colors you want. Obviously, all my borders are white for bullish candles. Take this, make it opaque. If I don't, it's just solid white candles. So I make it opaque. Background, it's just a gradient. So I have a dark gray and a black. It's a gradient from black to dark gray. And then you do this to get rid of the grid lines. So that way you don't have a bunch of lines on your chart. Simple. You just choose the background you want, choose the candle colors you want. If you want them opaque, make them opaque. You can make everything opaque as well. You just got to kind of do it how you want to do it. There was a point in time, I don't know if anyone's on stream that has these candle colors, but when I initially changed these, between Instagram and Discord, there had to be like 30 to 35 people that all changed their candle colors to match mine, which was wild. Have you taken any trades this stream? The one on screen right now. Rob, I'm okay with the hourly closing flat. As long as the hourly doesn't close down here, I'm okay with it. Because it's just more of a consolidation candle. And then the next candle is likely going to give us conviction. Whether it's going to stop me out or get continuation, whatever happens, I'm cool with. Right now, this structure does look more bullish than bearish to me on the 15. So I'm willing to continue to hold this. But I do have a hard stop where it's shown on the chart. Yeah, like I had said in the beginning stream, I think we consolidate a little bit for this hourly, and then we see how Asia wants to react. Nah, you're good, houseplant. You can always just look right below my name as well. It shows everything. Or below my picture. PFE is the next. Moderna. Zay. I used to trade those names. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I will never trade Pfizer again in my life. That is one of the slowest moving options names I have ever experienced, and I will not go back to that. It is the most miserable chart to take an options contract on because it just does not move, and when it does, the options contracts do not move. Pfizer is the equivalent of straight teeth. I don't know if that's good or bad, what you're saying. I have absolutely no clue. What up, Miguel? I'm doing wonderful, my man. How you doing? I'll attempt some longs, though, on NQ because it has good potential to pump, but my main trade I'm looking is to short ES. Fills the gap from Monday. I see that gap. I get it. Yeah, if we break 7,700, I definitely get more bearish, for sure. Slower than copper? Yes. Yes. PFE is plus, I think it's a lot lower now. When I used to trade it was back in like this area when it was around 50. These contracts they were insanely cheap, but they would never move. Say, to be honest, if this does break like 28, 29, this could easily rip. Easily. But that's just, it could move 10% a day for a week straight, and I will not trade it. I have a list of just blacklisted options names that I won't touch. Shopify is still number one. Let's make a deal if your trade goes to the TP. Not. No. No. You know what I think Amon needs? I think he needs 10 seconds to think about that. I think he needs 10 seconds. He gets 10 seconds. Just also so that message disappears from my memory. With building a 2.1K buffer, do you think it's better to try to go big to start, to build a buffer, or just go slow? That's just going to be personal preference. It is. It's just personal preference. Do you want to trade it smaller size, just hit and run style trades, or even just normal size, whatever you need to do? Like if you're average risking $200 per trade, I don't see a reason where you need to size up to 700 to 1,000-ish just to try to get past the buffer. So just whatever way you want to trade a name or trade a account, trade it. There's no one exact way to do it. But like Jake, he definitely tries to get past the buffer faster. I'll get past the buffer eventually. It's just if you have a trailing drawdown, obviously you can't let your trades trail back too aggressively. Asia Open needs to do something. This sideways action sucks. Waiting to get in a trade after I see what they do. Yeah, Rob, if you're not in anything and anyone else, nothing wrong with waiting till Asia. It opens in right around 5 minutes. You know, I lost a lot of money trading options, made a lot, lost it. Learning has been expensive. You and me both, Lauren. I lost like technically high mid 5 figures trading options. But that was also because I was just a straight degenerate who had some decent money saved up and income still coming in that I could yeet into options. Yeah, Rob, mine are basically either names that don't move well or names that have just mentally hurt me in the past, like Shopify. Shopify could be the cleanest moving name, cleanest chart in the entire market, and I will not touch it. Those of you who know about like the whole Shopify thing, because you went through it as well, you know. There's a very few select people that remember from back then in those Discord days. Not Discord, Slack days. I looked at my annual report and nearly fell off. Lauren, easy. We just don't look at that. You just hand it straight to the accountant and say, please figure this out. You just never open that piece of paper in your first year or two of trading. Full port long, top of wick price target. Are you saying right here on NQ? So this is what you want to do? You want a full port right here? Target right here? I mean, you do you. We got Asia coming, so we'll see. What up, Moke? Hour after opens, always big reversal? Not always. It just depends what Asia wants to do. I mean, in reality, we haven't had a big reversal other than yesterday in the past 13 streams. You're entering Amazon again tomorrow? We'll see, Moke. We'll see. That's how I know you pay attention in Discord. Because you know I took Amazon. It depends where it opens. If it gaps up and gets up towards 270s, I'm not going to touch it. Because I'd be more irritated if I took a loss on that when I close my position. But even if it moves and I don't get in, I'm cool with it. I caught my piece. I'm good for now. SoFi. Zay, let's see what the open does real quick. Actually, we have 2 minutes. What about SoFi? I see what you're looking at. Zay, every chart you pull up, I see what you're watching. Just a first initial 2-second glance at the daily chart. I see what you're looking for. You're looking for that rip up into probably like 21, possibly 22s. I see it. Not a bad chart. I had Hood and Apple on my watch list, and they ran. Mogue, if you're scared to enter a trade, size down a little bit, and then enter with that sizing. You just got. Sometimes you just have to get your feet wet. You got to put the risk on and just accept the risk of that trade, whether it works or not, and just let it run. Whenever I get in a funk of I'm hesitating entering, that's exactly what I do. All right, 1 minute. Chat, also, we have 155-ish of you guys on right now and 44 likes. Hit the thumbs up button. Show some love. What are we doing? I don't love that little pullback. I need 40 seconds of buying pressure on the 30, or else it closes a little weak. Hourly looks like no matter what, it kind of wants to spike lower. I'm okay if it spikes down to 38s. If it gets below 38s, I will eat a stop here. I knew I should reverse my long on NQ because the chat did a poll and said long. Are you a level trader? I'm a multi-time frame analysis and structure trader. 20-point slide and spy would be nice. Oh, AXP is bearish. AXP wants the world to burn. Rob, I'll always remind. I don't do it as much as I probably should, but I'll remind people to like it. Even though they usually only do if there's a giveaway. So AXP wants SPY. down 20 points. I mean, SPY daily actually looks pretty ugly. I didn't even look at SPY daily because I look at ES. There's a chance this does start to push lower. We just lost last week's lows at 738s. If we maintain below this, I will need to stop and we'll likely retest the open. How we react to that will be really important, especially as NQ sits here around that 610 area. Falls breakout of all-time highs. I don't know if I'd consider it more of like a breakout, but I get what you mean. With this little push here, because I don't want all-time highs. I'm not full targeting that. I would need a stronger weekly close to look at that. But no, if we do push weaker, right now, if we get back below last week's lows, tomorrow might get decently bearish. We could see a more aggressive sell-off. That would flip everything I just said in the last hour completely. I'm talking the previous all-time highs where the options moved 10,000%. Where they moved prior all-time highs where they moved 10,000%. You talking about here? I don't know exactly what you're referring to. Depth at the moment, no, but I base it a lot off of if chat likes to stream or not. And just how the stream's going in general. If I don't do one today, I'll do one tomorrow, most likely. I'm just not doing one every single day. What up, Seven? How you seeing GC? Range, for the most part. It's just sitting here fighting this 45.67s. If we lose that, then it gets a little more bearish. Obviously, the higher time frames are pretty strong. On gold, to be honest, I would just like a consolidation bar. Unless the broader market just screams higher, I don't mind a pullback consolidation day on gold. And then just see if the supports are able to hold on that for potential longs tomorrow to like Friday-ish. At this point, I'm kind of hoping this just stops me out so I can be out of the trade. Most recent break of 759, the rip we had from 26. We broke all-time highs where we gapped over and just went straight. Oh, this one AXP? Where we gapped over 759 right here, ripped up. 780s. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Of course, though, man. It's hard for me to look at gold and be dying to trade it just because of what the 4-hour and daily look like. However, it is gold. If gold wants to hold on the hourly and the 15-minute and get a trigger, there's nothing wrong with trading this at all. It's just not the main name I trade, so when it doesn't look A+, I'm not overly in love with really doing anything to it or looking at it. I want it to be a false break so longs get out. So AXP, you want us all the way back. You said 55s back down, just retesting prior all-time highs. I don't hate that. What I would have loved more is if ES came down and actually retested these highs, because we were sub 10 points away from hitting them. If we got down there a little bit more, retested it and held, I would have liked it honestly a lot more. And I probably would have traded with a little more aggressive size throughout the overnight. But market's never perfect. Oh, if we get back down in that range, I would expect a heavy range. We could easily sit there for another few weeks to months like we did last time we were down there. Need that gamma in my life now? Hell yeah, Lambo. What, the resistance at, what was it, like 45 from his stream? Let's look. Yeah, like 45. Because until we get over 50, you're likely not going to see much of a squeeze. But over 50, we get exactly into our target based off of the profile he posted at the end of the day. Yep, I see exactly what you're looking at. If you're also focusing on that, you'd be more interested in seeing us possibly get down towards 30, I would assume. Omar, what I do is I go one by one until I get a payout, then I start to copy trade them. Where's the DGen party at the end of Project 365? We still got months till that, so that party ain't planned at all. So I got no clue, my guy. What about eval phase? Same thing. If you haven't gotten a payout or at least getting some consistent payouts, I don't like the aspect of copy trading. Because all you're doing is increasing your underlying. Especially if you look at it from like a business perspective, you're just increasing the cost and you don't have any return yet. Right? You don't have any income coming in from getting the payouts. So I don't love copy trading until you do well. I do like NQ short down to the open. So, man, I mean, if I wasn't in a long right now, just letting the stop hit, I'd be more interested in shorts than longs for sure. Especially on the retest of last week's lows right here. I'd be more interested in shorts, sorry. Especially on the retest of last week's low right here. I just got wicked on that. Hopefully we at least break that. We should. Back on a red streak, 3,600 in payouts this month, but 1K spent on evals. Not a bad ROI on it. See you later, Thomas. Appreciate you being here, brother. What up, Yash? How you doing, my man? It's been a minute. Get me mad, but 5 losing days in a row doesn't feel good. Nah, I feel you, brother. If you need to, like I always say, just size down a little bit, get your groove back, and then get ripping. Earlier, I was $75 away from passing. Now I'm $800 away. I haven't traded since. Young, we talked about this exact situation earlier, where you end up getting so close to passing, and then you try to make that last little bit, because your trade obviously didn't hit it on the last trade you took. And then you start losing trades, and it's just a snowball effect back to the downside. But you'll get it. Chad, I'm be honest, I really hope it does break the open. Because I just don't want to be wicked out at the lows. What are we doing across the board? Hourly got very weak with that break. 4 hour more of a lower high, which isn't going to be ideal. This chart can easily trend lower if ES breaks the open. Like pretty damn easily. Dollars fighting the open. I'm just going to wait and see how we react here. What do you think? I might get 250K top step accounts. I saw someone post about it on Instagram. Should I try it out? AXP, you shouldn't trade a single account other than TPT if you ever buy them. I know you're trolling for sure, but you shouldn't get anything outside of Take Profit Trader. You would honestly, if you got to the funded aspect, you would love Take Profit Trader outside of the trailing drawdown. It's the accounts. Jake just took 40K out of one account earlier this week or last week? Last week. XP, I would look towards Take Profit Trader because TopStep has payout caps. Take Profit Trader, you can take, I think it's, isn't it uncapped payouts, chat, per account? Yeah, that's why I said he would just have to get past the intraday trailing, which is ass. So he would likely just, knowing that, probably trade a little more aggressive, just look for a quick hit on it to get past the intraday and then trade it. XP, all that would mean for you is you kind of just need one good entry to get past that buffer on a trade. Because that's the way Jake does it, right? You can either scalp to get past it, or you're willing, you buy a bunch of evals like Jake bought like 10 or 15, whatever it was, past them. And then you just take a couple stabs to see which ones you can get past that intraday trailing off one trade. At least that's Jake's method for it. Because then once you get past it, you have a static drawdown and you get daily payouts. Top step payout. Yeah, but AXP, that's the payout cap. That's total payouts, I'm pretty sure, on Top Step. Do they pay in crypto? I have no clue. Interesting, Rob. Is that 25K on Top Step per payout or total? Because that would be a huge difference. Past the evals on that quick reversal? Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, XP, if you can get 25K each week per account, run it. I mean, what, worst case, you end up spending a couple grand on it and you get one max payout, 125K. That's not too shabby. One thing you do have to be cautious of is if you're trading very well, they have the right to take you live whenever they want to. It usually won't happen like before your like second payout, but some firms will get you after like your second payout. Chad, there's a chance that I just got absolutely sniped on the lows. And I mean sniped for my stop. The hard part is making those 25K. Well, yeah, that's obviously always the hard part. That's smart, AXP. That is. If you want to run it, go for it, brother. They should have discounts on their website for it. What up, right guy? So NQ, RTY, both already triggered on the 15. This might be just very unfortunate. What do you trade? Whatever I like. Primarily ES, but lately I've been trading NQ a little bit. Appreciate you, right, guy? So mainly ES, sometimes NQ when I like that chart. Or when ES just isn't moving like it hasn't been. What up, Com? All right, Chad, I will say, though, if ES does go up towards target, I'm implementing a new rule until further notice where we are cash until Asia. The second Asia opens, we buy the dip. Because that has happened flawlessly the last 2 days. Gmo, all my trading is technical analysis, not fundamentals. Because I'm a day and short-term swing trader. Fundamentals aren't going to play a huge aspect in that. Yeah, so fan, that's a new strategy. I build a trade plan here's what we'll do. We're going to build a trade plan each day that we like until this doesn't work. Of where we would enter before Asia, if we like it. We're going to wait on the entry, wait till Asia opens and it hits the stop loss. And then is when we enter. The second Asia gets that dip and hits where that stop loss would be, we slam contracts. I'm annoyed I got stopped not buying evals until Asia tomorrow, taking the rest of the day off. Enjoy, brother. If you need to, just close up stream. So, man, I think that's a great strategy. I mean, zero drawdown, nothing. I'm on. Do you need 10 more seconds? Actually, no. It goes up every time. Do you need a minute to think about it? Gmo, a lot of times, if you look at the broader structure, when all the news happens, it fits the chart. It really does. There's a lot of aspects where we'll hit some type of resistance that we're watching or support before that happens. Like today's data news, we were watching the 50 area. We shot up exactly into that, obviously a little above, and then slammed back lower after rejecting it. So there's usually broader targets that it follows. Same thing with earnings most of the time. What up, MD? You need to be drawing that phantom trade up. So, fan, we will. I'll mark the trade out, be like, I am not in this, but the second stop hits, we're riding it. Now, we've just been getting these little Asia pullbacks. I'm not saying this is guaranteed to go up yet. We still need conviction on a 15-minute close, which is in 12 minutes. So there's a lot of time for this still to do something. What you saying wow for, brother? Dollar's still weak. Oil structure still weak. Because part of the reason I wanted longs as well was oil is weaker on the hourly here, so I wanted it to test lower. It doesn't have to yet because it did spike this low and hold. And then the dollar, obviously a very weak close overall. So everything I like had the conviction. You got stopped to the tick, my guy. Are you in an open trade? No, I got stopped out. Alejandro, if you look right below my name, the contract got closed. So no, I'm out. But yeah, my stop was 77.34 and we hit 77.34. Is what it is, my man. No big deal. It happens. It's going to suck if it just rips. But it's a part of trading. You guys have watched me get stopped to the tick, especially if you stream with me in the Discord. You've watched me been stopped to the tick probably damn near 70 times on stream. GC had the Asia dip as well. Were you in it? What do you do you mean GC had the Asia? GC dropped like a point on the Asia dip. It dropped 1.5 points. What do you mean it had an Asia dip? Alejandro, it would look good if it pulled back more on the daily, but gold doesn't need to pull back. Because you got to remember how bad it's been beaten up as well. Is it a very aggressive daily chart off this daily candle? Yes. But we also just consolidated for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. This could easily break and continue. We could get a day like this where we consolidate tomorrow and then try to play off of that Friday. Or we could get price action like this, where we get the breakout and then we just get another continuation day and then another continuation day. Because gold loves to do this. So it's just going to be watching, seeing how it wants to play out, seeing how it wants to react. Biggest thing for me is if it breaks today's highs, then yeah. But I am currently cash, watching how we react to this 40s area again. $77.90 looks like a good short on ES. Well, AXP, why couldn't you say that earlier before we pulled back? But no, I would love the indices to go higher to be able to short again. Problem with the fundamental side of Q or ES adjusting the PA might be more bearish because yields up in the inflationary setting. Hang on, Fed decision. Yeah, MD, but that's also on the broader scale. You know? Because yes, the overall market with yields and everything in that regard, definitely more bearish at the moment, but the market's not reacting to that yet. If they stay more bearish, yes, at one point we will likely crack and it will likely be pretty damn aggressive. I feel like the market's extended if you're not holding trade from yesterday. Hems, are you just talking about gold or are you talking about in general? Because what... It's hard to say the market's extended when NQ is exactly where it was yesterday at the open. Oh, well, I don't pay attention to Bitcoin. And gold, that's fair. So I would need that. Okay. So if we do see a trade I like, I'm going to use this account right there. See what we do. We shooting for the stars on ES? No, right guy, I already got stopped out. I'm not shooting for shit right now. I'm watching to see what we do. Watch how this 15-minute closes because there's a few options. Chad, do you guys want me to leave this here to show that I got stopped out or just get rid of it? RR on this one was 2.7. Is this more annoying to leave on the chart or no? Because I can leave it on if you guys want transparency since I switched accounts, or I can just get rid of it. XP, my fear is that if we don't pump, today might be that pump day. Not like today, but earlier today. Because there's a chance that was the move if we end up getting aggressive selling pressure, where bulls just weren't able to hold the momentum and it can start to push off. Yeah, right, guy. I got stopped to the tick. So that's why I moved it over too, because I'm not technically in. Yeah, Rob, we had hope. We had hope that we get continuation. There's still hope, but a lot of the overall, even last night, the market didn't really move, right? Like if we go back to yesterday's night session, it moved a little. Obviously, it got up towards 20 in the late session past Allen's stream. But throughout, since our initial open, I didn't. We got in at 19, so here. So our range was 15 points with that pullback. And then we ended up pulling back another like 19, or in the 19. But yeah, what I'm currently watching here and why I said the 15, I want to see how this closes. Because if this closes more of a failure to go higher, we could look for some shorts off of where our initial entry was. Because pulling back up into here with that stronger 15-minute close, we should not see that spike higher that fails. That starts to get more bearish than bullish. I think we get some more pump. I'm torn on it. Chat, we'll do a new poll. Just because obviously thus far we haven't gone anywhere. You guys already did your bullish bearish thesis. Heavily bullish. Oh, range went up higher. Range was actually higher than bearish. That's kind of shocking. We're changing a little bit. I'm going to run another one. I know not a whole lot of people probably click on it right out the gate, but where are we going into tomorrow? Not just on this session. Like, what do you think for the overnight tomorrow as well, into tomorrow's close? Oh, now you guys want bearish. So we have the 15 close in about 2 minutes. Chad, I will make a deal though. If you guys do show some love, like the stream today, we'll guarantee you a giveaway tomorrow for sure. Because obviously I didn't run one, I think, the last 2 days. Because we've obviously still been trying to figure out why some of the codes weren't working as well. Tough call, I'm going with range. Probably the easiest option. Rob, I don't think I've seen jobless claims make a huge impact on the market lately. Has it? Because I know that usually comes every week. Just give me one, I'll check to see if it works. Moke. I'll be honest. We tried that. I used 2 because Jake gave me 2 of them. One of them didn't work. So that's already been tested. And you guys spent the last 20.5 hours proving here there's a lot of buyers below 29.5. Is that why Jake only gave TPT? Yeah. Plus TPT's big discount right now. Right? If the evals are cheap, it makes sense for him to load up on them and give them away. But it is why, because the Tradeify growths, for some reason, some of them we were having issues where people would reply and say the code didn't work. Obviously, we give them a new code to fix it. But it was multiple on a list of codes that only the streamers on this channel have. So like we just don't know what's going on. We don't think anybody took them, but we don't know why they're not working. Yeah, 1 HP. There's definitely a lot of buyers between 29.5 right now. It's just, thus far, they don't have a lot of momentum to keep us away from that. Selling that 4 hours kind of hard to VH. I was on a beautiful short and got stop break even. Diego, shorting what 4 hour is hard. Thus far, ES is a big 4 hour failure to go lower. The overall thesis that I was looking for failed completely. Right, I talked about gold a little bit, but the main thesis of it was just unless it breaks today's highs, I don't have a lot of conviction there to be interested in trading it. I don't. We have today's highs, and then we have this like 45, 67-ish, 65-ish that I would want to see as outside of to really get conviction either way. But that's a hard chart for me to short without a daily failure. The 4 hour NQ does look good, but that you got to remember too. And here's why I like the later end of candles. It looks great if it pushes, but if we sell off into 590s, which is 30 points lower, that's a 4 hour failure to go higher and a 4 hour lower high with a failed breakout. That's not ideal. That's not going to be a good look. So into that 10 p.m. close, a lot plays out there. Chat. What was the last song that just played? All right, hang on. I'm playing a house mix, and I just got hit for copyright. You sons of bitches. Let me do this really quick, because there's a chance the audio's loud. So I'm going to mute the audio. You should still be able to hear me, though. I'm just muting my PC. So that way I don't make you guys go deaf. All right, we should be good here. All right, now we should be good. It's the first time I've seen that in a while. Copyright live stream trading. This people is getting our nuts. MD, the hard part. No, Rain. It was the song that I forget the name of it, but it's like That Makes Me Crazy. I forget the exact name of it. But it was a female artist. It wasn't Pink Pony Club. But deaf traders can't hear margin calling. Fair. It's because part of the biggest reason for us is because our channel's not monetized. If we were monetized, if we were making money off of ads, all YouTube would do is just give that person the money from the stream. But because we're not and we make nothing off of it, they target us even more, which is dumb because we're making nothing. Watching the 4 hour close on NQ still uncertain. Alejandro, that's exactly where I'm sitting. The reason I'm not overly eager to trade on this is I'm just stalking to see how we start to close. This chart can go either way here. If we get back below 38s, this can get aggressively weak. 15 did end up triggering, but now it's trying to fail again. If we just sit here and spike both directions, I want no part of this yet. Hourly is at a point where it can either close a very, very bearish candle or it can fail to go lower and close more bullish. So like I get more conviction in the next 25 minutes than I do right now, which is why today may just be like a one trade stream. We'll see though. I can see like if you want to take a stab one way or the other, sure. But I'm just waiting for a little bit more conviction. What'd you miss driving home in traffic? Nothing. Me getting stopped. What up, SC Trader? Yeah, Lasagna. It looks like it wants to dump. At the same time, if we get buying pressure, we would need back about 45 or 4 hour looks fine. Thus far, though, 4 hour hourly doesn't look good. 15, if it pushes back lower below like 38s, this can lead towards the 15-minute sell triggering again. Hourly would be rejecting the prior hourly low. Why am I getting copyrighted again? I'm playing the playlist. I play every single. This is how big of a dick YouTube is. I'm playing the playlist. I play every single stream. Never been copyrighted once. But because they noticed the last YouTube video I was playing, they hit this one. That's how bad they're stalking the stream right now. All right. Gotta go to AI music. Let me pull up the other playlist. These guys are dicks. This playlist does not exist. What the fuck? It get deleted? Oh, damn. The other playlist I used fully got deleted. Chat, we're in shambles. Rob, right now I'm not playing anything because I muted it. I'm just going to skip to a different part, and then we'll keep playing it. See how hard they're actually listening to us. But no, the background's very, very quiet. See if they hit me again with it. If I don't fuck it up, I'm going to take my 4th little bitty payout on Lucid 25K Flex account tomorrow. If I take the 5th, will they try to take me live? It will literally be a total of 2,900-ish. 1 HP, they don't care the amount that you take out. They care about the consistency and total payouts. So if you end up getting, I think it's 6 though. It might be 5, but it could be 6. Wait, Rob, does that do that on our streams as well? You guys don't get hit with any ads, right? I don't get ads. Perfect. I was gonna say, if you guys get hit with ads, we're just gonna monetize it. Obviously, I don't have that call, but that's all I would do. But no, Rob, it's not always YouTube. At least with the music aspect, it's the labels that publish the songs, because they want every penny they can get, which I get. Game is game. What's the market doing? I'm watching here to see if I want to try another entry. Rob, some people... I'm not even playing like an actual song. All right. I just got hit with it again. Dude, YouTube doesn't even hit Jake this hard when he plays straight up copyright music. Let's see what we can find. Let me mute this in case it's loud. All right, chat, we're trying this playlist. Play Climb. Dude, that's the thing. Jake can blast 4 Miley Cyrus songs for a half hour straight. I'm playing just the background beats, and I'm getting hit 4 times. Brother, there's no way. There's no way. Let me try a different spot. I just got hit again. And this is a copyright-free playlist. YouTube, I might have to just shut off music for the rest of the stream. YouTube is headhunting my ass right now. Ollie, did you know? You may not know this. Well, no, because 1HP, if I play real music, what'll happen is they'll just block the stream. And if we be more aggressive with it and just completely ignore it. So they'll block it. So if you log on to YouTube, you won't see it. And if we be more aggressive with it, they'll just take the stream down. They can straight up just close the stream while you're streaming. So that's why we always have to watch it. But it's because we're not monetized from it. Ollie, you actually can't sing on live. If you hum the beat of a certain song and YouTube catches it, you'll get copyright strikes for it. That's how crazy their bot that analyzes everything is. So like if I started humming the beat of a popular song, I would get copyright striked right now. Be creative. But you want me to start mixing up right now? YouTube's great, but it is, when you get hit with that right away, it's brutal because they're unforgiving. Did you know Hannah Montana's true identity, or were you fooled too? Aman, I know you're trolling, but you seem like the kind of guy that believed it. I don't know if you know or not, but the Tooth Fairy is real as well. Just put on a TED Talk, call it a night. Rain, they'll probably hit me for that too. They'll hear the tone in someone's voice and just absolutely hit me. Zach, he gets them occasionally, but I've never seen us get hit this aggressively. They are 2 different people. It's a conspiracy. What you talking about, the Hannah Montana thing? 1 HP, that is a rabbit hole I'm not going into. We still got 15 minutes here. 5 minutes trying to consolidate a bit, but NQ did spike higher, so we'll see how that wants to react off of it. So we redid the poll for into tomorrow. Bearish is still only 24%. Interesting. So now we're only 44% bullish, more range than anything, and then 26% bearish. So chat just changed their mind a little bit between bullish and range. No one else wanted bearish. If 4-hour closes bearish, is it crazy to aim for 29,500? No, not at all. You're targeting 60 points below this session's lows. You're saying is 165 points on the NASDAQ crazy? If we're bearish, no, not in the slightest. To be fair, I'm sitting more in the range category now. I was more bullish earlier, but with the way we're trading at the moment, I'm more range for the short term. Just because I don't see enough conviction to make me want a long. I'm bullish for a quick scalp. I don't hate it because we're getting into the end of the hourly. We just closed the 15 a little bit stronger. Sitting in an inside bar thus far, I believe. Yeah. Technically small time frame double top. But if this does break, if NQ hits new highs, I like longs. DGen is here. What up, Betico? There's a no trade zone for me, but my dumbass only takes like 3 trades a day. 1 HP, that's probably one of the smartest ways to do it. Might be wrong account. All right, well, we found your burner. What's your other account? Marty's going nowhere. Agreed. That's why I'm not putting risk on. It's just not worth it yet. I put a little on earlier for anyone that just hopped in. I did take a loss. You can see it on the screen. Ollie, how many burners you got? Or no, that's not your burner. You're calling him a bot. But now we talking. What up, Gordito? Type the exact same message. This is why I can't win an account. I mean, to be fair, yeah. It's part of it. But they still have to make multiple Instagrams as well. Which isn't hard. Dollar pushing, oil pushing, gold selling. ES and NQ might try to put lower highs in. I'm still waiting. I think I'd rather wait for us to actually get somewhat of a move and then enter. Probably be a later entry overall. Because I can build a thesis to long or short right here. See you later, AXP. Yeah, Gordito. I mean, I have another YouTube that I use as well. Those 4 relative equal highs are looking nice. On what chart? Where at? Yeah, Zach, that's likely what I'm doing. I don't think I'm taking something for the rest of the stream. We only have 10 minutes left anyway. NQ. So what, you're looking up here or you're looking farther? Yeah, those. Well, we're already basically there. So you looking for those to get swept? Just begging to get swept, but just read that part. I love NQ at 690 the high, but I doubt we'll get there. I mean, that's only 20, 30 points away. That's not crazy. We can get there in 2 minutes. If we get just the littlest bid, we can shoot up there immediately. Speed doesn't scream I'm heading there. Well, no, it screams I'm not moving anywhere. Stone at thought, imagine chairs became alive and wanted to take over the world. We'd be so outnumbered. Rain, how high are you to have that thought? That chairs are going to take over the world if they come to life. Like, you got to be gone, my brother. That's epic, I gotta admit. I mean, do you just know that man is on another planet, or at least close to it? And why would we be outnumbered? Well, Diego, how many chairs do you own? We would easily be outnumbered. Good to know, Rain. Glad you're vibing. Glad you are vibing, my guy. No, Aman, I haven't learned anything from him. About to pull up to work, too. My man. Don't you work? Is it you that works on power lines? Because if so, good luck. Good fucking luck. Chad, I'm probably just going to hang around for a few minutes as we get into the 9 o'clock and then call stream there. Just because, I mean, we could break here, but I don't have enough conviction to where I really want to take anything. The hourly thus far is getting that fair to go lower, so I think we can get momentum back to the upside. We just spent the session in more of a range. NQ looks phenomenal if it wants continuation. So I may be willing to trade it later on in the session. Just at the moment, not overly eager. Gordito today? No. But I will definitely end at 9 because doesn't that start at 9? I need to get into one of Mitch's courses though. Yeah, I'm heading there now. Hell yeah, brother. Enjoy. See you tomorrow, brother. Keep an eye out for a trade like mRNA tomorrow. Brother, if I get inside intel on something like that, you'll know because I'm a full port every single dollar I have to my name. I would have put 10K in that thing and I'd be making 9.2 million. You guys will know. I'll do the biggest giveaway YouTube has ever seen in my life if I catch that trade. Bro, I feel like Oprah. The pain in the ass part would be picking all the giveaways. Now, Gordito, at that point, if I hit something like that, I'll just be like, all right, everybody in chat. I'd have to find a way to do it. Like, get everybody's YouTube name. I'd run the giveaway, get everyone's name, and then just give every single person one. If I made that kind of trade. Plus, then it's just a big tax write-off, you know? See you, brother. But yeah, chat, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I don't see anything that I really want to do here at the moment. I'm more interested to see what the next hourly does. I get 10 accounts. Vish, you owe 10 accounts. But I'm not in love with this. We'll see which way the range breaks. If it does get back above 45s, I like longs into that 65 area. Over that, we do have that 70 target, followed by, I think, like 80s. If we do get under 38s again, get back towards that like 33 area, we could see some selling pressure. But chat, I think I'm going to call it just because we're almost towards the end anyway, and I don't see anything that I really want to do here. I'll be back. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for the last stream of the week. Alan is on 1 a.m. Eastern like always. Y'all have a great rest of the night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. What, NQ? Don't tell me beyond 30 minutes because I got to walk my goldfish or something. One HP I did, but it when you end the stream, it resets. Appreciate you, brother. Have a good night.